Don't wait until 40 what your finances should look like right now. Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you actually sat down and looked at your bank account, not just glanced at it, but really looked at it and felt proud, not anxious, not embarrassed, not trying to figure out which bill you can push back to next week? When was the last time your money made you feel like you were winning? For a lot of people, that answer is either a long time ago or never. And if that hit a little close to home, I need you to keep watching, because what I am about to share might be the most important conversation about money you've ever had, and nobody had it with you when they should have. You're sitting somewhere right now, maybe on your lunch break, maybe laying in bed scrolling at midnight, and somewhere in the back of your mind, there's this low-key panic that just won't go away. You see people your age posting about buying houses, taking trips to Bali, talking about their portfolios, and you're sitting there like, bro, I am just trying to make it to the 15th. And the worst part? You work hard. You're not out here being reckless. You show up, you grind, you do what you're supposed to do, and somehow you still feel behind. Like everyone got a manual that you never received. That feeling? That quiet, nagging sense that something is off with your financial life. That's not just stress. That's a signal. And today we're going to answer it. I get it, for real. I've been in that spot where payday feels like a reset button on survival mode, not a step forward. Where treating yourself means buying a combo meal instead of just the sandwich. Where you're too embarrassed to even talk about money because you don't want people to know how tight things actually are. That shame is real, and I am not here to judge you. But I am here to tell you the truth, because the longer you wait to get your money right, the harder the math becomes. And the math, my friend, does not care about your feelings. Here's the reality that nobody wants to say out loud. The system wasn't built to make you wealthy. It was built to keep you functional enough to keep working. Your job gives you just enough to live, rarely enough to build. And most of us were raised with a money mindset that was straight up broken from the jump: spend what you earn, save what's left, and hope for the best. But hope is not a financial strategy. The average American has less than $1,000 in savings, is carrying thousands in credit card debt at 20+% interest, and has no real plan for retirement. That's not a personal failure, that's a systemic pattern. But knowing that doesn't pay your bills. What changes things is deciding to opt out of that pattern, starting right now. So let's talk about what your finances should actually look like, not in some perfect dream world, but in the real world, with a real income and real responsibilities. By the time you're in your mid-30s, there are some baseline checkpoints that should be on your radar. First, you need an emergency fund. Not a maybe ill save something this month situation, a real, dedicated, do-not-touch emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of your basic living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account. This is your financial immune system. Without it, one bad month, a car repair, a medical bill, a layoff sends everything into a tailspin. Second, your high-interest debt needs to be gone or actively dying. Credit cards charging you 19, 22, 25% interest are wealth destroyers. Every month you carry that balance, you are literally paying the bank to stay broke. That has to stop. Third, you need to be contributing to some kind of retirement account, a 401k, a Roth IRA, something, because the most powerful thing in personal finance is time, and every year you wait is compounding, working against you instead of for you. And fourth, and this one hits different, you need more than one stream of income. Not because you're greedy, but because one job, one paycheck, one source of money is genuinely one bad day away from disaster. Now here's where most financial content loses people. They give you the what without the how. So let's get practical and keep it simple. Start by running your numbers. Not your vibes, your actual numbers. Write down what comes in, what goes out, and where it goes. Most people have no idea how much they are spending on subscriptions, food, random Amazon purchases, and little things that add up to a few $100s a month they could be redirecting. You don't need to live like a monk. You need to be intentional. Automate your savings the day you get paid so it moves before you can spend it. Even if it's $50, $100, automate it. Pay yourself first, then look at your income. Are you getting paid what you're worth? If you haven't negotiated your salary or raised your rates in the last 2 years, there is a strong chance you're leaving money on the table. Skills pay bills. Invest in yourself, because your earning potential is your most valuable financial asset. And if you have a side hustle idea, a skill you can monetize, or a service you can offer, stop overthinking it and start. An extra $500 a month changes everything. Here's the mindset shift I really need you to make, though. Stop looking at where you are and start looking at where you're going. The comparison game is a trap. Somebody else's highlight reel is not your financial reality check. What matters is your trajectory. Are you moving forward? Are you making smarter decisions this month than you did last month? That's it. You don't have to go from broke to baller overnight. You just have to stop sleepwalking through your financial life and start making conscious, consistent choices. Rich isn't just a number, it's a habit. And habits are built one decision at a time. You still have time. I need you to hear that. Whether you're 28 or 38, whether you've got debt or no savings or both, you still have time to completely flip the script on your financial life. People have started from zero at 40 and retired comfortably. People have dug out of massive debt and built real wealth. It happens every single day. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide that the next chapter of your life is going to look different from the last one. When you decide that your kids or your future self or your peace of mind is worth more than another impulse purchase. When you decide that financial stress is not just a normal part of life that you have to accept. The next decade of your life can look completely different from the last one. But only if you start making different moves today. Not Monday. Not after the holidays. Not when you get that raise. Today, open that savings account. Make that extra payment. Start that side hustle. Have that salary conversation. Learn that skill. Do one thing today that your future self will thank you for. Because the version of you 10 years from now is either going to look back and say, so glad I started when I did, or they are going to look back and wish they had. The choice is yours right now, in this moment. If this video hit home for you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, because we're building something real here. A community of people who are done playing small with their money and their lives. Drop a comment below and tell me what your #1 financial goal is for this year. Let's hold each other accountable. You're not in this alone, and the best financial decision you can make today might just be deciding to stay in the room where this conversation keeps happening. Let's get it.